Salaki, Shalom, Shalom, Brother Naquam, Watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another Monday Night Fire. Giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Bashai. Double honor to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing His truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom to those men. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, zealous, on fire, diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to those sisters. Shalom to the ancient men, the children, the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth, and everybody tuning in live for another Most High willing, glorious, mighty Monday Night Fire. Most High willing, right? Don Israel, Shalom, King Ephraimite Ak, Brother Believe, HBK Ent, Nigel Blends, Brother Yamir, Yasha Allah 12 Yakad, Diamond Royal Ministries, Yolanda Caesar, Benjamin Youngwolf, Shalom King, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. Drone sightings, signs, and wonders from the beast. We're going to dive right into what's going on in the earth. The Most High, Yahweh Bashai, He's working on these governments. He's working on the beast. He's working on the minds of the wise men of the so-called white man. He's sending chariot sightings out there. He's sending these vehicles out there in the air, drones and things of that nature. And this is the handiwork of Yahweh Bashai. All things that are being done on the earth are being done and orchestrated and programmed by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashai. And there's massive panic. There's mass pandemonium. There's hysteria. People are losing their minds. They're losing sleep at night. People are having heart attacks. They're calling the police. They're calling the military. They're praying to their gods, and they're thinking about how to stop these damn drones and things of this nature. Man. All hell is breaking loose in the minds of the public because they have no idea who the Most High is or who His Son is. Neither do they understand the prophecies that Yahweh Bashai has set forth in the last days. Right? Let's go to Luke, the 21st chapter. Right? Let's go to Luke chapter 21. Now, Luke chapter 21 goes into the prophecies that are coming to pass in the last days and in the end of the world. Right? This is the book of Luke chapter 21 and verse number 25. Actually, I'm going to jump up, right, and just get the context first. This is Luke chapter 21 and verse 7. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? So what can we look for in the heavens and the earth amongst the nations that are clues, leading indicators, if you will, that will allow us to know that your second coming draws nigh on the earth? Verse 8. Now, here's the first thing that Yahweh Shah said. Before he spoke of World War III, before he spoke of Jacob's trouble, 70 AD, here's what the Lord spoke of. And He said, take heed that ye be not deceived. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. So the Lord said the number one thing, or the first thing that He mentioned was do not be deceived. Deception, being beguiled, sorcery, witchcraft, false signs and wonders are going to be put forth in the earth, rather through the beast in this man's system, rather through lower level wizards and warlocks, wise men, spiritual wickedness in high places. Don't be deceived, man. Don't be deceived by this man's education system. Don't be deceived by his politics and his false hopes. Don't be deceived by false promises, religions. These are the things that Yahweh Shai is speaking of. And a lot of people are being deceived, man. People literally, to this day, believe that there's an alien invasion going on. People really believe that there are extraterrestrials who have come from a far galaxy and have invaded New Jersey and the damn airs of the United States. People literally believe that. Their minds are bad. They don't understand that Yahweh Shah said, don't be deceived. People really believe that there are extraterrestrials coming out of the water, right? People believe Iran has invaded via drones. everybody or the majority and the people have been deceived, right? And they've been deceived because they believe everything that the society tells them, whether it's through the local news, whether it's through major public news networks, MSNBC, what is that, CNN, Fox News, BCC, right? All of these different news networks are deceiving the people. Social media plants, agents, creeps, whistleblowers on the left-hand side, and they're coming in the name of Babylon the Great. So you got a lot of people getting caught out there, right? Let's jump down, right? This is the book of Luke. So there's many things in Luke 21, St. Mark, the 13th chapter, St. Matthew, the 24th chapter, that speak about what you see going on in the earth in these last days. Now we jump down, this Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity the sea and the waves roaring. And we talk about signs in the sun. We speak about eclipses, man. Right? We speak about people saying they saw two suns in the firmament and the sun did this, and strange anomalies, man, from the greater and lesser light. People speak of blood moons, eclipses, solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, so-called comets and things. The Most High, he speaks of these things, but there are also going to be what? Upon the earth, distress of nations. Economies collapsing leads to the distress of nations. Tensions that build up to global war and a nuclear holocaust is distress of nations. Public, the people, right? So like as they begin to overthrow their government, fed up, right, with the politics and fed up with taxes and fed up with oppression. That is also the distress of nation. It says with perplexity. And even now, as we speak of these drones and you speak about what the Most High is doing on the earth, because the Most High is doing this, man. The Most High has chariots out there. The Most High has Esau through witchcraft working on the minds of the people. That's perplexity. When you're perplexed, what does it mean? It means you're confounded, right? You don't have an answer, right? Let's pull up the definition of perplexed. Let me make sure this is showing. All right, here's perplexed. Completely, this is a mean one, completely baffled, very puzzled. There's one thing if you're trying to figure this thing out, you're trying to make sense of matters, and you're getting close and you got hints and you're building yourself up to get to the solution. It's a whole nother thing when you're perplexed. You're completely baffled. You have no idea where you are, how you got there, how long you're going to be there, right? You have no idea what's going on the earth, right? So the Most High has the spirit of perplexity on the earth. That's the prophecy you're living in right now. Rather, it's New Jersey, now they're in Maryland, then they found them in San Antonio, then you see chariot sightings, then you got drones, and you got this in the heavens, and everybody's perplexed. And everybody has a theory, right? Everybody has a theory. Everybody has the breakdown. Everybody has they're going to put their 2 cents in, and everybody's trying to put forth strong reasonings on why things are happening in Babylon the Great in the last days, right? People are asking questions. People are going to church. We went to this a few weeks ago. Bible sales are going up, right? They're soaring through the roof because people want answers. People want answers, right? So this is perplexity on the earth going on. Let me read this one more time. And there, Luke 21 and 25, and there should be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, meaning confusion of the nations, right? Here's another one. Men's hearts failing them for fear. And looking after, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So people's hearts, meaning their minds, are going to fail them, right? What does it mean when your heart fails? That's called a stroke. Some people call it panic attacks, anxiety attacks, heart skipping beats, right? So men's hearts are going to fail them. They're not going to have the answers. People's minds are going to be bugged out as they see things that they never saw before. People aren't giving people answers quick enough. These people want answers from the government, man. They want answers from the military, and everybody's giving different answers. You know, so these are the signs that you're living in. Signs of deception, signs of great things coming on the earth, perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, commotions. Like we always go into this. The Lord spoke of commotions in the earth, right? This is the book of St. Mark, right? Chapter 13. Let's jump up. This is Mark chapter 13 and verse 8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. So Luke 21 speaks of commotions. Mark 13, it speaks of troubles. And we always go into this word troubles in the Greek, right? Now, this word troubles, it means seditions, uprisings, disturbance. Here's it in the Greek. Tara K, right? Tara K, G5015, disturbance, commotion, a tumult, a sedition, a mob, a sedition, troubling, right? And that's what's going on in the earth, man. People are troubled, right? They're wondering if the government is spying on them. People are wondering, is this Iran coming in and invading, right? How did the government allow this to happen? Are we being attacked by UFOs? You know, from faraway planets? What do we do? So this is a spirit of panic on the earth, commotions on the earth, confusion, perplexity, seditions, right? And people are tired of the answers they're getting, man. So we're going to dive into this through the spirit, and like we're going to, showing you that this is biblical. This is more than just what Esau calls misinformation, or he calls it, Iran invading, and they have a mothership and things of that nature. The panic and the state of the people in Babylon are great. They're after wits end, and everybody knows it. Now, a lot of times, this society, we know that the Most High has chariots, right? The chariots are what you call UFOs, the chariots of Israel and the horsemen thereof. And there have been an increased sightings of chariots on the earth over the last decade, from New York to California. I mean, you see them day by day, night by night, you know? So you see what the Lord calls the chariot of Israel and a horseman thereof, right? What the world calls an unidentified flying object. But a lot of what people are seeing aren't chariots. Now, when you have the discernment, sometimes we're at camp. I'll put it like this. Sometimes we're at camp. We might be at a feast day, whatever, right? In righteousness. And you'll look up and you'll see a chariot flying. A brother might say, well, no, that's a plane. Well, once you kind of have seen chariots, you have the ability to be able to discern between what's a plane, what's a drone, and what is a chariot, right? You can pretty much figure that out if you have that experience. Brothers in the camp, they especially in Baltimore, they have that experience, right? We teach right at the harbor. We know what the helicopters look like. We know what a plane looks like in the night sky, the blinking lights. We know what a drone, they fly drones at night out there all the time, even prior to this mass commotion. And you know, for you brothers that seen chariots at night, you know how they move. You know how they move. They're higher than everything else. They're damn near touching the tip of the firmament. They move at a set trajectory. You understand? Sometimes they'll stop. Sometimes they expand. Sometimes they flash by you. You know, with damn colors and fading of green and things of that nature, and blue. You know what a drone is. You've seen the drone. If you haven't seen a drone, you've seen drones recently. And you know what a helicopter or an airplane looks like at night. It always has that green flashing light or that red flashing light. Now, some drones, they have that light too. But drones move parallel to the ground, and they don't have too much, they're not aerodynamic, right? They're not aerodynamic. So drones tend to move up and down and in a straight line. You know, You don't see chariots really do this, right? When you brothers have seen chariots, they're not doing all of that motion, man. Now, if you've seen one kind of do that, it's a little bit different. But chariots move in their own fashion, right? So everybody's they're looking at these things and they're trying to discern what are they looking at. Well, if you was in this truth and you knew what the chariots are and you knew what they were described as, then you would have a better discernment. See, we have the secrets of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. The Most High has opened up our mind to be able to discern between man-made vehicles in the heavens and what they are called in the Bible. Rather, the Lord calls them locusts, or rather, the Lord calls them anything else. And we know what the chariots of Israel are. Right? Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 2 and 11. It reads, "And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven." Now, believe it or not, this is speaking about what the world calls an unidentified flying object that abducted Elijah. Yeah, we said it, right? We said it. I'm going to say that again for you brothers that are new in this truth, you sisters that are new. Maybe you've been in this thing a week, a month. Maybe this is your first time tuning in, huh? This is speaking of Elijah being abducted in a chariot and led away to the third heaven. That's what this means. Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven, right? Why is it called a whirlwind? What does a whirlwind do? A whirlwind lifts you up from the earth and it takes you into the cloud. You've seen cars get caught up in whirlwinds or tornadoes. You've seen man get caught up in a whirlwind or a tornado. And what it does? It has a force where it elevates you off the ground and it translates you up into the air. That's why it's called a whirlwind. That tractor beam is the whirlwind. And the cloud is the chariot. Right? If you look up, let's see if we can look up, we'll just look up a tornado. The Lord describes it in this fashion. It's a metaphor. This represents, and let's do side by side. Let's do side by side. So we're going to break this down and break down these drones that are happening. Let's get let's see. Let's use, I mean, all these are good. We'll use this one. So this is the cloud, and a whirlwind takes them up, what the world calls a tractor beam. It's described as a cloud and a whirlwind, as a metaphoric description of the chariot, right? So this would be your tractor beam that he saw, but he described it as a whirlwind, and the cloud represents the chariots, right? So that's what happened. That's what he saw. Same thing happened to Enoch, right? Everybody wonders what happened to Enoch. Did he die? What happened to Enoch? Was he led away? Well, Enoch, the same thing that happened to Elijah happened to Enoch. He was led away, and what the world calls a chariot. And you do have actual chariot sightings. You do have drones out there. You have vehicles out there that Esau created. You got helicopters out there. You got planes out there. But you know what a chariot looks like, huh? Right? Or at least you should. You know, this is Genesis chapter 5 and verse number 22. Enoch walked with the Most High after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with the Most High, and he was not, for the Most High took him. What does that mean? The Lord took him. Did he take him to Denny's? Did he take him to the Yankees game? Did he take him out for brunch? Okay, Enoch. Okay, let's get brunch. Okay, do you want deep dish? Do you want a hoagie? Right? You know, what do you want? Do you want stuffed crust? Right? Do you want eggs? How do you want them scrambled? Then Enoch said, okay, well, you think about it, you know, I really want the stuffed crust. And the Most High said, okay, well, you should try the hoagie, because no, that didn't happen, man. He didn't take him out to eat. He took him up to the third heaven, being an example of repentance unto all generations. So Enoch was abducted. Abduct means to be led away. He was taken up in a chariot. and many of our forefathers. So when Yahweh returns, he's returning with the chariots, right? This is Revelation chapter 1 and 7. And who's Yahweh who the world ignorantly and just sheer ignorance called Jesus Christ, right? Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. So when Yahweh returns, he's returning with a fleet of chariots, a fleet of chariots. This will be a true invasion, right? And we're going to show you that that's in Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter. See, there's not green men coming from a planet far, far away who need to harvest the resources of planet Earth and enslave and probe and run experiments on the human race. That's sci-fi. This is not science fiction. What we're reading is nonfiction, historical. These are facts. Empirical evidence. These are true matters. This isn't something that you see on some strange TV channel. Yahweh is literally coming with millions and millions of chariots. What are they coming to do? To destroy America, Babylon the Great, all the strange nations, and deliver the elect of the Most High God, right? Who have been set from the foundation of the world. Now, you can say, well, I don't know about an invasion. You're reaching. It doesn't say invasion. Well, it does say invasion. There's an actual invasion coming on the earth. This is Habakkuk chapter 3 and verse 16. And this is a mean chapter, man. You brothers that haven't read Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, you need to read it. You brothers that read it before, hey, read it again, man. It is a beautiful, mighty chapter about the return of our Lord Yahweh that Habakkuk saw. You know? Habakkuk chapter 3 and 16. When I heard, my belly trembled. My lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. When you invade, you don't ask for permission. And usually people that invade something, they come with violence. They have a motive. They have an agenda. They want your land. They want to take down who's in charge. That's what happens with invasions. They overthrow governments. Ask the so-called white man. He knows everything about the invasion. He invaded this land. As much as he calls it, we settled. We settled in America. This was an invasion. He didn't settle in the Americas. He didn't settle in the Dominican Republic. He didn't settle in Africa. Oh, we just settled. We're settlers. We're pilgrims. We're pioneers. He invaded. So guess what? The Lord said, be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So if you have planted seeds of invasion on the earth, you're going to reap being invaded by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And he's going to invade you with his troops. Who are his troops? Michael the archangel and every other angel of war that the Heavenly Father has set forth to invade the society, blow up. They're going to blow up the Statue of Liberty. They're going to blow up the Empire State Building. They're going to blow up the St. Louis Golden Arch, the San Francisco Bridge. Mount Rushmore is going to be defaced and destroyed. Every monument and relic and idol and statue of Columbus, George Washington, the Lincoln Memorial, everything that has been exalted will be destroyed by Yahweh Shai when he returns and invades the society with his troops. So you people that are worried that you're being invaded by aliens and you're seeing drones, and don't worry. There's a true invasion coming on the earth. And it's coming by means of our Lord, a so-called black man, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And when he invades the society, you're not going to question it. You're not going to have time to post it on TikTok. You're not going to have time to make a Snapchat, to put it on Instagram, to try to go viral. You're not going to have time. Trust and believe. When Yahweh Shah returns and there's this massive invasion that goes down, the Lord is going to take 1 hour to destroy this place. Metaphorically, man. It's going to be a swift. It's going to be so swift. It's going to be a quick destruction when he invades this society with his troops. right? Now, what you see going on the earth, again, Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai has chariot sightings out there, right? You see UFO sightings increasing, right? You see these what they call spaceships, right? Now they may not necessarily look exactly like this. Obviously, these are digitalized artwork, things of that nature, but there are actual chariots that resemble this, you know? And you got people actually trying to pull scriptures. Maybe that's what Ezekiel saw, right? Maybe this is what this person saw. People are actually pulling scriptures. Now, what Esau is doing, let's pull this up. A lot of what Esau is doing is sorcery. We're going to put that out there. A lot of this drone talk is really intentional. It's by design. It's by design. Because anyway, the Most High put it on his devil's spirit. He knows what the chariots are. Everything that we're going to, every precept that I went into, Revelation 1 and 7, Habakkuk 3 and 16, etc., Genesis, the 5th chapter, 2 Kings, the 2nd chapter. You don't think the so-called white man elites, you don't think they know those scriptures? They have the Bible. They have our records. They know who we are. They know the name of the Most High. They know the name of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. You don't think they know these things, these matters? You don't think Esau, you think he's really trying to figure this thing out? That's what the Lord said, be not deceived, right? Let's go to Ezekiel 28. You think this devil is really trying to figure out if this is a chariot coming in or not? He knows these things, man. He knows ain't no chariot crash in Nevada, man. He knows what happened to Enoch. He has studied and spent trillions of dollars paying archaeologists from Harvard, Yale, Ivy League, world-renowned scientists to dig up the soils of the Mesopotamian area, the Fertile Crescent, to study ancient civilizations that ruled before him. And he has found that all nations, like we went into in the cold current last week, that all nations knew about the chariots. Right? All nations. So Esau knows what a drone is. And this devil knows what a chariot is. The only people that don't know are the sheeple. What are sheeple? The sheeple are the damn people that just follow the masses. Right? The sheeple are people who follow this society's government and they obey the government. They eat Big Macs all day. They listen to Fox News all day. They read the paper and they believe everything and anything that this society tells them. That's what sheeple are. They have a conformity complex. Sheeple. People compared to sheep and being docile, foolish, or easily led. You get on Fox News and they say Iran sent the mothership. You got people, oh my God. Got old white man, an old white woman eating a Big Mac, drinking a Coke after they're watching the Wheel of Fortune, man. And their favorite Monday night sitcom. Oh my God, the aliens are coming. Lois. What? Right? Get my gun. Henry. Right? And they damn fussing. They fussing, trying to figure out what to do. That's sheeple. Henry and Lois are sheeple. Right? It says, look at this. What is a synonym for the word sheeple? And then we're going to look up the word conformity. Right? We're going to look up the word a conformity complex. That's what the people are who believe everything. I can't think of that Eve name. It's this Eve that gets on, and she is the voice piece of confusion. Right? Whenever there's some government question, she has to come on and rock the people back to sleep. I don't know where they found her at. Now they got this other individual, right? But the president comes on, he gives a State of the Union address, a public address. Rather, it's Trump, Biden, and they're rocking you to sleep, man. It's wine. It's called sorcery. This drone talk, this stuff is sorcery. We're going to talk about it. Right? We're going to talk about the great signs and wonders and Esau's plans and his Project Blue Beams and his MK Ultras and his PSYOP tactics and psychological operations and his things that he does and has been doing to work on the minds of the sheep. Right? So this is what is a synonym for the word sheeple? Attentive, compliant, differential, devoted, docile, dutiful, faithful, law abiding, loyal, respectful, subservient, weak matches, right? So these are the masses of the people. They're law abiding, loyal, respectful, subservient. What did you say, Donald Trump? Yes, sir. Right? What did you say, Fox News? Yes, sir. What did you say, CBS? Yes, sir. What did you say, MSNBC? Okay. They don't do anything. They're eating their Whopper, right? They're watching Jeopardy. They watch their local sitcom. They still got the antenna hooked up with the rabbit ears to the TV that you screw in the damn back. They're going up top. They're adjusting their satellite dish so they can hear what Fox News has to say. They got their TV dinners and trays in front of them, and they're glued into the TV like a damn zombie. Subservient. Don't be a sheeple, right? What did the Most High say in Proverbs? We're going to go back to Ezekiel, right? What did the Lord say about prudence? There's a spirit, there's a trait, this is a characteristic that every brother and sister in his knowledge must obtain and acquire. And if you believe you have it, you can increase in it. And if you don't have it, now's the time to obtain it. It's called prudence, right? Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Don't be simple. Don't be simple, right? And you just pass on and you're punished, man. Rather you punished by the society mentally, and you got religions and philosophies forced down your throat, or you're punished literally when Yahweh Shah returns, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah. You got simple people in the Bible, man. Right? When you go to let me get this precept real quick. All right, let's go to First Maccabees. Quick precept. Right? Then I want to go back to that. I want to get to that word conformity. This First Maccabees chapter 7 and 13. Right? It reads, I'll start at 12. Then did there assemble unto Alchemists and Bacchades a company of scribes to require justice. Now, Alchemists is a wicked man, right? These are wicked men. Let's read on. Now, the Assyrians were the first among the children of Israel that sought peace of them. So the Assyrians were men, they were mighty men of valor, they were warriors, and they were devoted to the law. But when you had these wicked men that came on the scene, the Assyrians were the first to conform and seek the peace of wicked men. Let's read on. For said they, here's what the Assyrians said. One that is a priest of the seed of Aaron is come with his army, and he will do us no wrong. And that's how a lot of you Negroes think, man. But he's a so-called white man. He would do us no wrong. Oh, he has a suit and tie on. He couldn't lie to me. He has blue eyes and blonde hair. When has he ever failed me? He gave me my education. He gave me my iPhone, my job. He taught me. He raised me. He will do us no wrong. A lot of people, you let prestige and vanity bug you out. This is what happened to the Assyrians. It says, for said they, one that is a priest of the seed of Aaron is come with his army, and he would do us no wrong. So he spake unto them peaceably and sware unto them, saying, we will procure the harm neither of you nor your friends. So they said, look, when they met the Assyrians, Alchemists, Bacchades, these wicked men said, hey, look, everything's cool, huh? We won't hurt you at all. We love you. We love your friends, right? Let's see what happened. Whereupon they believed him. Howbeit, he took of them 80 men and slew them in one day according to the words which he wrote. You see that? You see that? You see what happens when you're simple, when you're naive? Oh, they won't do us no wrong. He's a seed of Aaron. He has prestige. They got slain in one day, 60 of them. Don't be like the Assyrians in this account. Don't be simple. There's a man in the scriptures called Gedaliah and Jeremiah who was slew by Ishmael. We ain't pulled that account. They said Ishmael cometh to slay thee. He's coming to kill you. Gedaliah in the book of Jeremiah, he said he's not coming to kill me. It is false. It is false. Let me get that account real quick. Right? He said it is false. Right? This is Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 37 and verse. Let's start at. No, that's not what I want. I want let's see. I'm gonna get this account. Let me pull this up. Right. So you had this man named Gedaliah who was actually plotting to slay who was slain, rather. He was plotted on by Ishmael. Right? He was plotted on by Ishmael. So I want to get this in Jeremiah chapter 40 and verse number, let's see, 40 and 13. That's what I want, right? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 40 and 13. So don't be simple, right? Jeremiah chapter 40 and 13. It reads, moreover, Johanan, the son of Kareah, and all the captains of the forces that were in the fields came to Gedaliah to Mizpah, and said unto him, dost thou certainly know that Baalis, the king of the Ammonites, hath sent Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, to slay thee? But Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, believed them not. They say he's coming to kill you. He ain't coming to kill me. He can't do no wrong. He's a man of the Lord. I can't be lied to. He didn't believe them. Right? Let's read on. Then Johanan, the son of Kareah, spake to Gedaliah in Mizpah secretly, saying, let me go, I pray thee, and I will slay Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah, and no man shall know it. Wherefore should he slay thee? That all the Jews which are gathered unto thee should be scattered, and the remnant perish, the remnant in Judah perish. So you even had the spirit try to get to Gedaliah twice. The Most High said that he speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. He said, Ishmael's coming to kill you. Let me kill him first before he get to you. That's what he said. But what did Gedaliah say? But Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, said unto Johanan, the son of Kareah, thou shalt not do this thing, for thou speakest falsely of Ishmael. Right? And that's how a lot of people are when we speak against Babylon the Great. They won't lie to me. You're speaking falsely against America. They love us. They give us food. We can go in their buildings now. We're integrated. We can marry their women. I can buy a house. I have a job. I have a 401k. I have a pension plan. And this devil is killing you, man. And he's looking to plot against you. That's what Simple Jake say. For thou speakest falsely of Ishmael. Don't be naive, man. Don't be the sheeple like Gedaliah and the Assyrians. Right? Here's conformity. It reads, conformity, the process whereby people change their beliefs, attitudes, actions, or perceptions to more closely match those held by groups to which they belong. So conformity is when you see 50 people walking this way and you're going this way, but you don't have a mind of your own. So you say, well, these 50 people must be going the right way. So you get in the back of the line and you follow them and you all fall off a ditch. That's conformity. They got these pranks where people walk into an elevator and everybody has their back towards the opening of the elevator. So the person walks in the elevator and they look at everybody and try to figure out, well, why does everybody have their back towards the entrance of the elevator. Nobody in the elevator says anything because they're all in on it. And what do you think happens after about 5 seconds? That person, he also turns around and he has his back towards the entrance of the elevator. He doesn't know why. He has no purpose. That's conformity, following the masses of people to confusion, right? Following the masses of the people to confusion and vanity, right? They're trying to fit in spirit. You see this? Everybody got a striped shirt on. She got polka dots. Next day, she got a striped shirt on, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with standing out, being righteous, being a peculiar, being a special people unto the Most High. You don't have to conform to this society and worship the beast. And that's what this society is about. They're about witchcraft and sorcery. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse number 3. Right? This is speaking about the so-called white man on a metaphoric level. It reads, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee." So again, going back to these drones, the chariots, you don't think Esau would recognize what invaded his airspace? You don't think he knows? Right? This devil knows when you was at Walmart, how long you were there. He even asked you, how did you enjoy Walmart? Are you going to rate it 5 stars? He'll tell you while you're driving to a destination that, hey, look, there's an accident 10 minutes ahead. Do you want to take a shortcut or do you want to stay on this route? This devil knows about you. He lets you know, hey, look, man, your music's too damn loud. It's been loud for the last 3 weeks. He'll tell you how long you were staring at your phone. Your screen time is through the roof. You need to chill out. He'll let you know these things. You mean to tell me he knows what's going on in your day-to-day life, but he doesn't know what's going on in his airspace, and he's a man of war, a bloodthirsty man who lives by the sword? Department of Defense, the Pentagon, the Air Force, the Space Force. You mean to tell me he has no idea what's going on? The Lord said otherwise. So these devils, they know. But what they're doing, like we're going to go into, they are plotting on the people. This is called psychological warfare, psychological operations. And they've always done these things. False flags, clandestine operations, covert missions to work on the minds of the people. They've always done these things. These elites, the so-called Illuminati, the shadow government, they play chess. They play chess. And I would say you play checkers, but Jake don't even have a damn board, man. They're playing chess. They see these devils, they make moves 75 to 100 years in advance. They make moves 75 to 100 years in advance. Everything that they do is planned. From the time of 9/11 to the time of the pestilence that just happened for the back in 2019, this stuff is by design. When are the people going to realize this? When are you going to wake up and understand that the Bible is letting you know, God is letting you know that this devil is well aware of what is going on the earth? There is no secret that they can hide from thee. Your blood type, your residence, how many people are in your house, where you work at, your income. They know how much to tax you. They know all of these things. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver, and to thy treasures. So all of the understanding of Esau, he's used it for his advantage to gather in the wealth of the nations. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. So this devil, he's proud. He's feeling himself. And he believes that nobody understands what he's doing on the earth. But the men of the Lord, the Most High, has given us the spirit of discernment. That's something that we didn't have in the world. Unfortunately, we didn't have discernment when we were smoking weed, eating unclean foods, believing everything that this society may have told you, buying in. Maybe you were patriotic. Maybe you was part of the army. Maybe you thought that this government and this society had your best interest at heart. But the Most High has freed us from this bondage of ignorance and vanity, and has given us discernment, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? He has given us these things, man. Let's go to quick precept. Then I want to dive into the sorcery and the witchcraft of this society. Right? I want to dive into the sorcery and the witchcraft of this society. Right? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse number 13. Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness. And that's what we see. We see that wisdom excels folly, man. We see that this truth, like Zerubbabel said in First Ezra, the 4th chapter, 38 on down or so, he said, great is the truth and mighty above all things. If we didn't have this truth, we'll be lost out there. We wouldn't know what the chariots were. We wouldn't know what happened to Yahushua in Acts 1 and 9. We wouldn't know what Isaiah chapter 66, 15 on down is going to. We wouldn't know these matters. We would be beguiled, lost, drunk, and utterly confused, man. But thanks be to Yahweh Shemiel Shai, who hath not given us into their hands, man. Right? Who has woken us up to the knowledge of the Most High. Verse 14, the wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. And I myself perceived also that one event happened to them all. So a wise man's eyes are in his head, man. Right? Meaning what? This man meditates, he thinks, he understands, he has knowledge and understanding. It's going to guide him to righteousness. The foolish man, they're going to walk in darkness. So a lot of these devils, what they have and what they produce, which I want to kind of touch on a little bit, is psychological warfare. There's a lot of drone sightings. Let's pull this up. Where is this at? And there's a lot of talk. Project Bluebeam is back. Now, this is old. Project Bluebeam is old. It's an old thing, but now it's coming back. People are asking about it. They're digging it back up. This is from 1 day ago. What is Project Bluebeam? Conspiracy theories or theory erupts over drones, right? Conspiracy theorists link, is it Project Bluebeam? What are we talking about? What is this, right? So these people, they study algorithms, how many people are looking this information up, how many people are typing up Project Bluebeam, how many people are looking up drones, what's currently trending. They study these things, man, to see if their sorcery and their witchcraft is actually working, right? You have people who are bringing us out, East Coast and chaos. Runway shut down amid UFO drone invasions. You see that? And even though you have a lot of whistleblowers that are leaking information, right, that may be profitable, then you have guys that are planted to sow confusion by this society. Whether they work for the CIA, whether they're wise men on the left-hand side, they are set up to cause confusion on the earth. Some of these guys, these accounts are government agents. Some of these guys are paid off to sow discord and disinformation and misinformation and fact check and throw stuff off. Right? So runway shut down amid UFO invasions. America's airspace is under siege. A drone-like craft with unknown origins has caused disruptions on the East Coast, even forcing the shutdown of the runway. So you have actual chariot sightings, and you have Esau's drone that he's putting out there, right? He has his own thing he has going on. Now, Esau, he knows what the chariots are, right? There's a thing, again, called psychological warfare, right? You have terrestrial warfare, right? Combat warfare. You have political warfare. You have hand-to-hand combat. You have bombs dropping, bayonets, bullets. That's regular warfare. But then you have psychological warfare, right? Or they call it psy-war, right? Or the basic aspects of modern psychological operations called PSYOP. So a psyop is a psychological operation, which is really what? It is a planned attack against the American public to work on their minds, to throw them off, to beguile them, to cause hysteria, to cause panic, to cause confusion. He'll have psychological operations to prevent him from bringing the truth out, to hide his agendas. See, the Lord called him the serpent, right? And he's more subtle. I can tell you in Genesis. Let me get that real quick, the 3rd chapter. He does things like this to throw the masses off balance, so that the people could panic and wait for answers from the same people that cause confusion. He'll do this to enforce laws. He'll do a false flag to enforce a law, to invade a land. He'll set up somebody and blame them. He'll overthrow governments. This devil is very subtle. Genesis chapter 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh by Shema Mashai hath made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. You see that? So this devil, he's more subtle than any beast of the field. Now this serpent was a man. This wasn't an actual snake. There's no snake that talks. Never seen it. They don't exist. This is an actual man who was set up by the nations through crafty counsel to come and target the woman, to target her mind. So psychological warfare goes back to the beginning. This was by design. A lot of brothers don't understand that this was strategic. This was not an accident. They didn't stumble by chance to meet each other. Read Psalms 83. Read Psalms the 2nd chapter. Read Psalms the 64th chapter. These nations by design targeted the woman to work on her mind, knowing that she was the weaker vessel. They waited for the right opportunity. And they began to beguile her with the question. See, this is what works on people's minds. Questions make you start questioning things. What is this? What am I looking at? Here they are. They know what the truth is. And they're putting it out there. We don't know. Is this a drone? They raise questions, and they want you to question things so you don't go to what the truth is. Now you're asking yourself, is this really a drone? Is this a chariot? Is this a helicopter? Are we being invaded by aliens? What is this? We don't know what we're looking at. So that's what this devil does. He'll put questions out there, have you start be questioning things and confusing yourself and double thinking, right? To work on your mind. And he did this to the serpent, to the woman in the Garden of Eden. He didn't say, come eat this fruit. Come learn this philosophy. Come get this breakdown. He said, hey, shall not eat, Slakia. Yea, hath God said, you should not eat of every tree of the garden. Right? So that's like a jab. When you box, you throw a jab, it kind of stun you. Now you kind of trying to figure out, well, did the Most High say that? Right? Should I do that? You got Esau saying, are we supposed to not be sodomites? Did the Most High say that the woman can't wear pants? I thought y'all were equal. Thought we had equal rights. Did the Most High say you can't be homosexual? I thought you were your own man. I thought you made your own decisions. I thought it was your body, your choice. Did the Most High say you can't abort your baby? Isn't it your body? Isn't it your choice? So that's what this devil does. You got people thinking, well, yeah, it is my body. It is my choice. So they commit massive murder on the earth, right? Massive murder on the earth. So there's a thing called psychological warfare. Psyop has been known by many other names or terms, including military information support operations, psyops, political warfare, hearts and minds, and propaganda. The term is used to denote any action which is practiced mainly by psychological methods with the aim of evoking a planned psychological reaction in other people. So they do things by design to see how the people react. See what the people are going to do. How do they respond? Like when they had everybody stand 6 feet apart. There was no proof on that. Everybody did it. Everybody had the mask on. Everybody was 6 feet apart. And you don't know why. There was nobody that broke that down to. You just heard it and you had to go by it. You did it. So when they put these laws out there and these planned pestilences and things of that nature, that's psychological warfare. And it's in the Bible all the time, right? It's all throughout the scriptures. We read one in Genesis, the 3rd chapter. There's an account, and we're going to dive deeper into that in 2 Kings, the 18th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, right? This is, this is what I want. This is 2 Kings chapter 18. This is a psychological operation we're about to read about. 2 Kings chapter 18, and I'm not going to read this whole thing, but verse number 19. I'm going to jump down. So when you read this account, Rabshakeh was sent by the king of Assyria to cause massive panic in the hearts of the Jews. Right? He was sent there by design for an operation to overthrow the minds of the Jews that they can overthrow the king. Right? And we're going to prove that. You say, well, I don't believe that. What's in the Bible? Right? Then we're going to go back to the history of this devil and his witchcraft and sorcery that he's doing on the earth. Right? It reads 2 Kings 18 and 19. And Rabshakeh said unto them, speak ye now to Hezekiah. Thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, what confidence is this wherein thou trustest? So he's speaking to the king right now. We're going to find out his true motives, right? He said, what are you trusting on? Thou sayest, but they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for the war. Now on whom dost thou trust that thou rebellest against me? Now when Rabshakeh is saying this to Israel, he's not just talking to the king. He has everybody's listening. All of the Jews on the wall, all of the officers, the head of the governor of the house, the scribes, the priests, even the people, the ordinary Jews, they're listening to Rabshakeh speak, right? As he tries to demoralize the people, right? Let's read on. Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, unto all that trust on him. So now the people are listening to this. And if they were weak, they say, damn, maybe we shouldn't trust in Egypt. This leads to murmuring, rebellion, sedition, questioning the king's judgment, right? But if ye say unto me, we trust in the Lord God, is not he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah hath taken away? So he's not just talking to Hezekiah. And hath said to Judah and Jerusalem, ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem. Now therefore, I pray thee, give pledges to my lord the king of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them. Right? So if you obey and bow down to the king, we'll give you 2,000 horses. You don't even have enough men for the horses. How then wilt thou turn away the face of one captain, of the least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? Right? Let's read on. And now, it's like, am I now come up without the Lord against this place to destroy it? The Lord said unto me, go up against his land and destroy it. So if you were listening to this speech and you heard this messenger say that the Assyrians have taken down every land, nobody was able to stand up before them, then he follows up and says, your God sent me against you to destroy this place. He said, the Lord sent me, Yahweh sent me And you know that this was working on the minds of the people, because let's see what they said. Then said Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, and Shebna, and Joah, and unto Rabshakeh, speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' language in the ears of the people that are on the wall. He says, stop. They don't need to hear this. Right? They don't need to hear all of this panic talk. They don't need to hear all of this damn tumult talk that you're trying to cause. Speaking to us in the Syrian tongue, we can understand you. Stop talking to the people. They're going to panic. They're going to riot. They're not going to trust in the Most High. But let's see what happened. But Rabshakeh said unto them, hath my master sent me to thy master, and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me to the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you? So he was sent by design to work on the minds of the people. That's what the king of Assyria told him to do. He didn't say go to Hezekiah. He could have sent the messenger, I need to talk to your king. He could have went straight to war. But he was sent as, this is what you call a psyop, a psychological operation, to talk to the people on the wall and get them to panic and to overthrow the king. That's why the leadership said, don't talk to them. They don't need to hear that. You're going to get them to lose their damn mind. Right? And you read what happened. You can read the rest of this account on your own. But you read the fact that the Most High eventually destroyed this man and 185,000 of them. But you see this in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, 2 Kings, the 18th chapter, about how heathen and how these nations use particular tactics to break you down mentally, right? And that's what these devils are doing, to cause you to question things, to get a reaction out of you, right? And they know what the truth is. So I'm going to read this again. The term is used, and this term is a psyop, or a psychological war. The term is used to denote any action which is practiced mainly by psychological methods with the aim of evoking a planned psychological reaction in other people. Various techniques are used, and are aimed at influencing a target's audience, like we just read in 2 Kings, the 18th chapter, right? A target audience value system, belief system, emotions, motives, reasoning, or behavior, right? Let me jump down. Actually, I'll read on. It is also, it's like it is used to induce confessions or reinforce attitudes and behaviors favorable to the originator's objectives. Like when they said Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, they blew up the Twin Towers. That's all psyop. So people could say, well, maybe we should invade. Maybe there are weapons of mass destruction. Maybe we should give our money to the government that they can go and deliver us from the hands of these wicked Arabs, right? And are sometimes combined with black operations, right? See that? You have covert and black operations or false flag tactics. It is, and the Bible speaks about black operations and false flags. It's called wine, the spirits of devils, sorcery, witchcraft, false flags, psyops, black operations. All of these things, the Most High calls it sorcery and witchcraft. It is also used to destroy the morale of enemies through tactics that aim to depress troops' psychological states. Right? Reading a little bit more. Target audience can be governments. See that? Organizations, groups, and individuals. So they'll target everybody, man. They'll target everybody. Right? There's a thing, brothers have heard this word before, called propaganda. That's why they said Iran is the one who's launching these drones. It's propaganda. Propaganda is witchcraft, sorcery, beguiling people. The way that they use it is sorcery. I'll put it like that. Right? Iran is sending drones over here. Right? They're here to destroy us. Right? They're here to take away your children's education. They're here to take away your jobs. That's what they say about the so-called Mexicans. The Mexicans are here to take away your jobs. That's propaganda, right? And this double has a track record of this, man. This was I believe this was World War II. Rosie the Riveter. This was propaganda. This is why the so-called black. This is part of the reason why the so-called black woman doesn't respect you, because of this picture right here. You may say, I don't know why. What does that have to do with anything? Why this may be a reason why your mother, your father divorced, why your grandmother, your grandfather was divorced, right? Because of this image. Why you have an Edomite woman as your supervisor at your job or your boss? Because of Rosie the Riveter. World War II, while all of the men were out there at war, this image was massively produced to work in the minds of the people. This was by design. That women can think that they can be equal to a man. That they can have man jobs. They can do what a man could do. They could fix a wrench. They could build a tank. They could build a helicopter. They don't have to be nurses all the time. Relegated to nurses and feminine jobs and secretaries. Right? They can have masculine jobs. They could build tanks. And they can be the police. Right? And they could be generals and captains in the army. We can do it. Who's the target audience, Ray? Who's the we? All so-called women. And a lot of you so-called black women, you got caught up in this thing. You got caught up in this thing. This is propaganda. You got caught up in the witchcraft and the sorcery of the so-called white man. Here's another one. I want you. Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is propaganda. There's no actual man called Uncle Sam. Yet people believe it. Uncle Sam wants my dollar. I got to pay it to Uncle Sam. There is no Uncle Sam. But this was used to draw people in for I believe this was World War I. Not it was World War II. I want you. Right? Come on, buddy. It's your fight too. Turn out more guns and more ammunition. Right? So these things are done to seduce the people. World War II propaganda. So people, look, analyzing the art of persuasion during wartime. This is what got people to go to war. This is what got people to buy into a government. This is why people stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. This is why people disagree with people who kneel for the national anthem. This is why all hell broke loose in Colin Kaepernick's life, man, because the people have been persuaded and beguiled by the witchcraft and propaganda of Babylon the Great. Right? And they do this a lot during war. So America's looking to go to war with Russia, believe it or not. They're looking to go to war with Iran. They're looking to go to war with China. So you'll often hear things like Russia is taking over the election. That's propaganda. Iran sent their mothership of drones. All of these drones came from Iran. That is propaganda. China is interfering with our internet. They sent the spy balloon from one side of the country to another side of the country. That's witchcraft, sorcery, and propaganda. But the average Jake, you'll get caught out there. Now, this is found in the Bible. A lot of this drone stuff, this is the sorcery of the so-called white man, right? Let's go to Revelation, the 18th chapter, right? Let's go to Revelation, the 18th chapter, right? This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 23. Revelation 18 and 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And again, like we always say, stop watching Harry Potter and thinking that's the only level of sorcery. Right? It's not just somebody with a magic wand. It's not somebody flying on a broomstick with a big nose as they stir up a pot of toads, snails, and damn green goo. We're not 12 years old, man. Once you understand the knowledge of the Most High, you understand that sorcery is manifold. Sorcery is beguiling people, manipulation, propaganda, covert operations, clandestine movements. That's sorcery. It's falsehood, beguiling the masses of the people. And that's how this devil gets down. That's how all nations have been deceived. They've all been deceived by the sorcery of America. And yes, America is actively involved in sorcery, right? Here's the word in the Greek, pharmakeia. You could deduce that pharmakeia, this is where you get your pharmacy, your pills, your prescriptions over the counter. That itself is rooted in witchcraft, right? It says sorcery, witchcraft, the use of administering of drugs. So when you go out there and you need that Zoloft or that damn whatever these medicines they got with these Edomites, they be throwing frisbees in the park and getting up at the baseball game and clapping, all of that stuff that they selling you, that's sorcery. You know that because they say side effects may include kidney disease, lung cancer, brain damage, etc. And they run through that very, very, very quickly, right? So that's sorcery, but it's more. It says poisoning. So when you poison somebody literally or spiritually, that's poisoning people. You poison their minds with the serpent's venom. And the venom is his wine, right? Sorcery, magical arts, often found in connection with idolatry and falsehood by it. So worshiping the beast is the idol, it's the idolatry. And a sorcery is Esau's politics, his religions, his science, his news, his media, the deceptions and seductions of idolatry, right? The deceptions, that's what the Lord said, take heed that what? That no man what? Deceives you. He said it, take heed that no man deceive you. So the Lord is warning you about the witchcraft and the sorcery, the media, the propaganda also of Babylon the Great. When Yahushua said, take heed that no man deceive you, he wasn't talking about the street magician who said, pick a card, any card. He wasn't talking about the car. I mean, the man at the subway who does damn 3-card Monty, man. Who got people in the crowd betting on it and you flip over the card and you put $30 down and, no. It runs deeper than that. It's beyond that. The deceptions and the seductions of idolatry, right? Let's go to Revelation, the 17th chapter. This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse number 1. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So John saw a great whore. He literally saw a great whore. But this whore was a metaphor, or a similitude rather, of America. Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth, right? Now, why is America called a whore? Because they commit fornication with every nation that they get in contact with, rather it's political, financial, through the global, their global reserve currency, right? Which people are tending now to stray away from, right? Rather it's through religion and you accept Christianity, democracy, right? Through the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the Federal Reserve, everybody's in bed with America. Rather they use the dollar, they accept the language, the dress, the lifestyle of America. They have influenced the whole world. That's true influence, right? The word influence means when you pour, let's get that etymology real quick. The word influence, right? Let's get the etymology of the word influence, right? It reads, let me get straight to the point. To flow into, to stream in, to pour in. Influere, which is a Latin infinitive, right? Or a participle, right? It reads to flow into. So when you influence someone, your spirit is flowing into them, right? So now they begin to what? Make steps in their life to become like you. People who have been influenced by Michael Jordan wear the damn wristbands. They may have their high school jersey to be 23. They may wear the 11s. They may wear some Jordans. They have been influenced. The spirit of Jordan has resonated inside of them. America has influenced the nations. The spirit of homosexuality, the spirit of politics, democracy, the spirit of religions and follies, military bases, and the acceptance of America's order has been flowed into every nation under the sun. They are the influence of the earth, right? They are the influence and inspiration of the earth, being to breathing their life into everyone. This is the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. The waters that she sits upon are the nations. Revelation chapter 17 and 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So everybody that's out there saying that they're being invaded by UFOs, you're drunk. Well, I didn't have any wine today. I'm 5 years sober. I only drink after the Shabbat. No, you're spiritually drunk. You are spiritually drunk. You are intoxicated, inebriated. Your balance is off. Your speech is what they say, incoherent. Your equilibrium's all jammed up. Your motor skills. Your eyes are blurry. Read Proverbs, the 23rd chapter. You're rambling, you're babbling, speaking follies. You're drunk. You are drunk, right? So let's go more into this. So this is the propaganda and the sorcery that gets the people drunk, right? Look at this. Women help America's sons win the war, right? Help America's sons win a war. Be patriotic. Sign your country's pledge to save the food, right? So these devils, they have propaganda, which we discussed. They also have false flags, right? What is a false flag? For brothers that don't know, the false flag goes back during the time of the medieval age, where you would have a ship that was essentially a pirate ship, and let's say there was a ship of France that were sailing. The pirate ship would throw their false flag up, and they'll throw up the same ship. They'll throw up a French flag. So the original French ship, they say, hey, look, those are our allies. Those are our comrades. I see their flag, but it was really a false flag. Behind that flag was really what? That country's true emblem and logo and symbol. So that's where the word false flag goes back to. Nowadays, it's likened it to covert operations, right? And things that are done through, again, sorcery. Like, what is a false flag? A false flag is a political or military action carried out with the intention of blaming an opponent for it, right? Like what Nero did. Nero burnt down, I believe, a third of Rome, not 2/3 of Rome. And who did he blame? He blamed the Israelites. That was a false flag. What did this devil do 9/11? He blew up his own buildings and blamed the Arabs, the Ishmaelites, right? Major world powers, Esau always does this, man. The Romans did it. This is how Esau got the Mexican territories, man, through a false flag. When you look it up, the Treaty of Guadalupe is rooted within a false flag. That's how America annexed New Mexico, Arizona, California, Colorado, Nevada, Washington, Oregon, etc. Nations, let's read a little bit more. Nations have often done this by staging a real or simulated attack on their own side and saying the enemy did it as a pretext for going to war. So let's say they said, these drones came from Iran, even though we know the Pentagon, they came out and they made a statement. Or they say Russia interfered with the elections, or they blew up a ship, right? They'll use that as a pretext for going to war. And the people don't know about it. These sheeple, the conformers, they don't know. There was a ship blown up, I believe, in the time of World War II. See if I can think of that. Lithuania. Let's see if I can find that. I believe that was World War I. Right? This was a false flag attack. Right? It says this was an actual attack that led to World War I. this ship that was blown up by design, but it was blamed on who? On the Germans, right? On May 7th, 1915, a German submarine U-boat torpedoed and sank the Lusitania, a swift-moving British cruise liner traveling from New York to England. Of the 1959 men, women, and children aboard, 1,195 perished, including 23 Americans. What happened right after that? Take a wild guess. Right? Take a wild guess. It says the sinking of the RMS Lusitania caused international outrage and helped turn public opinion against Germany, particularly in the then neutral United States. Right? And it was used as a stepping stone to bring the U.S. into war. So this is all by design to turn public opinion. They're willing to kill their own people. You think these so-called white men cares about you? You got a lot of Negroes still waiting on reparations. Wake up! You're not getting it. Here they are. They'll kill 1,000 plus of their own people to go to war, sacrifice them. And a lot of these devils, they do this stuff on wicked days, man. Illuministic, Luciferian days of sacrifice. You know? But what was the purpose? It said it helped turn public opinion. Why do you think they call us Black Hebrew Israelites? That's sorcery. Because they know everything associated with Black is negative. Black terrorists, Black identity extremists. These names are done by design. They have think tanks where these Edomites sit in rooms and they say, well, what is the most wicked name that we could come up to give the children of God? And they all give their ideas. And everybody has an idea. Everybody has an opinion. Then they vote and they say, you know what? I like the idea of Black Hebrew Israelites. It's plain, it's straight to the point, it's simple, it's rough. Let's go with that. See, this devil, man, he's always plotting and planning. Let's go to Psalms chapter 64 real quick. Let's get a quick precept. So you have, again, we covered psychological operations, false flags, Black operations, right? So what you see, again, this is to build up a lot of you newer brothers. Don't get dismayed at this stuff. These drones, and you're really wondering what's going on. First of all, this devil knows what the chariots are. He knows what the chariots are. He has records of it. He knows that we're out there bringing it out. Don't get dismayed at this. These devils know what they're doing by design. Right? Psalms 64:1. A lot of you brothers, even in Israel, are scared. What are you scared for? What do I do with the drones? Is it time to be a pilgrim on the earth? Is this Jacob's trouble? Shalom, is this Jacob's trouble now? Is this the abomination that makes it desolate? You know? A lot of you brothers are... Get your faith built up, man. There's no reason to be scared. There's no reason to be nervous. They're spying on me. Is that a drone? You won't even leave your house, man. You've been called out of work for 3 days. The drones are out there. They don't see me with my fringes. Do I go to work today? Should I go to the grocery store? Right? And we fear Yahweh Shemiah Shad, man. We don't fear Esau's sorcery and vanities. And we love the chariots. When we see the chariots, we praise Yahweh Shemiah Shad, man. Right? So let me read this real quick. This Psalms chapter 64:1. Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. So there are secret counsels. All you brothers that say, well, you're a conspiracy theorist, right? You're making that up. You've been reading too many books. You spent too much time on the internet. The Lord, David said there are secret counsels. These are councils that you're not invited in. This is not on your local news network. This will not be televised. And the information and the reasoning and the results of these councils are not made known to the public. They are made by a select handful of men to continually run the world according to their agenda. And this drone situation is just another part of their secret councils. Right? The Lord said, hide me from the secret council, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. What is that called? War. Right? The Lord said, this is war. It may not be, because what are arrows used for? War. Swords are used for war. Bows are used for war. But the Lord said, words are used for war. Bitter words. Right? Propaganda, sorcery, witchcraft, right? Covert operations. These things are also war. And they have a target. And a target is always the children of Israel. Right? Let's read that. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. So the majority of Esau's operations are done to what? Come at the perfect. Who are the perfect? The Israelites. They say, well, I'm not perfect. I fall short. Well, we all fall short. I fall short. You fall short. But in the spirit, if we're part of that number, if we are the elect, the Lord called us the perfect. He calls us the innocent, the meek. The Lord said, in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God and the Lamb. And Revelation, the 14th chapter. Right? Let's read on. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. Evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? So they say nobody's going to figure us out. Nobody's going to understand that we've been playing chess. That we know what the chariots are. They'll never question us. They'll believe everything we say. Do you know what a drone is? See, they talk about traps and plots. While Jake, they gave you sports and the playoffs to talk about, and they're talking about weightier matters. They talk about how to plot against you, how to keep this truth away from you. A lot of you brothers, you got caught up. You was looking at an actual drone that night, and now you're wondering, is it a chariot or not? You know? Now, a lot of you brothers, you're going to see an actual chariot. You're not even going to have faith. You're going to say that's a drone. So this is to target you. That's why it's important to pray for faith. Here you are seeing a fleet of chariots. You say, oh, it ain't the work of the Most High. They ain't the Yahweh Shemel Shah. Damn, Esau and his drones. Brother, that was a fleet of chariots, brother. The Most High sent that as a sign to build your faith up, to show you how you're going to get delivered, how your enemies are going to be destroyed. But now you just cast off the handiwork of the Almighty God. So they talk about these things, man. They figure out how many people can get affected by his agenda, right? And you brothers don't get caught up in this, man. Don't get caught up in this, because there are more chariot sightings that are going to be seen, and this devil knows that, right? This devil knows more chariots are going to be seen, man, as his kingdom grows down. He's been seeing an increase in chariots. So now he's trying to offset it as well by putting more drones out there. You know, oh, that was a drone. We shot this down. So now you brothers, it's to discourage a lot of brothers. Remember, that's a psychological operation to discourage your emotions, your belief system. Yes, for the mass of the people to be kind of caught out there, but this is you. Let's read this again. Who are they aiming this war? Who's this war against? Psychological operations and these signs. Psalm 64:4. Let's read it again. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Right? They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? Right? And we see you, man. We see you, damn devils. The Lord said, then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And 2 Thessalonians 2 on 6 on down, really 7 on down. You know, so we see you devils, man. We're not, the Lord said in 2 Corinthians, let me get this quick precept, the classic. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. What did the Lord say? 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Right? What did the Most High say? Right? So like it reads, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right? We're not ignorant, man. You might have had us back when we was in the world. You might have had us when we was high, bugged out of our mind, committing fornication, drunk. You might have had us then. Those days are over with, you so-called white man. We know you're watching this, man. We know you devils tune in too. We know you got scoffers on the comment board to sow confusion and discord. We know you tune in. You got people designated to each camp, to each channel. There's agents, COINTEL operations. We understand these things, man. We're not ignorant of your devices. We fear Yahweh Shemiah Shai. We don't fear man. We don't fret. We trust in the Most High. He's running the show. You devils ain't running nothing, man. We don't care what illuministic agenda you have, what plots and plans you have. It will not overthrow the counsel of the Almighty Yahweh Shemiah Shai, man. Right? Let that be known. And you devils, you know that too, because the Most High speaks to that in Job, the 15th chapter. Right? That the dreadful sound is in his ears. Right? Let's jump down to Psalms chapter 64 and verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So they have deep thoughts of sorcery and witchcraft and how to overthrow you. How to overthrow you, right? So I want to go to, we discovered false flag. Now I want to touch on some of the so-called devils, psyops, man, his witchcraft that he's been using. Because we talk about it, but we're going to actually read about it a little bit. Now this is from Coffee or Die magazine, right? Now you can look this up, right? Now this is called, it says Killer Vampires, Demon Dolls, and Sauerkraut, a brief history of American psyops. So they actually go into different levels of witchcraft that this devil used in war and to overthrow governments and to influence people and to cause commotion and seditions. He's always done this. He's always been a warlock. He's always been a wizard. Now look at this. Now this is just kicking it off with a picture, right? It says, now you see this, you got men in the helicopter. You got all this paper flying off, right? Now, let's read this. It says soldiers, let's see the caption, from the U.S. Army's 350th Tactical Psychological Operations 10th Mountain Division drop leaflets over a village near Hawija in Karuk province of Iraq in March 2008. The leaflets are intended, check this out, to promote the idea of self-government to area residents. And when you watch the movie, is it this how it ends? Is that what it is? The movie that just came out, I think it came out last year. Is that what it is? This is how it ends. Is that the movie? No, that's not the movie. What's the name of the movie that just came out? They was dropping the leaflets in that movie. And they said, well, we don't know what this said. Leave the world behind. That's what it was. Leave the world, the water for that. Leave the world behind. So when you watch this movie, right, they actually had leaflets in the movie. Because these devils show you what they do before they do it. And they was, I believe they was Chinese and Arabic. And I can't remember, I have to go back and watch the movie, but I can't remember what they said in the movie. But they had Iran and China, they were doing psyop operations. They invaded, they took America down when you watch the movie. If you didn't watch the movie, hey, I'm spoiling it, right? They took them down by their infrastructure, breaking down their power grid, controlling their ships, cast down their internet, and then they start adding more psychological warfare, and they started dropping these leaflets on the people. Now, I don't remember what the leaflet said. I can't remember. I have to go back and watch it. But it was really to cause confusion. You know, it was to cause confusion. It was to stir up the minds of the people, right? That they can start questioning what's going on, right? In those flyers. And they actually show that in that movie. These devils know what's going on. And they've always done this. That's why where's that at? I had it pulled up. They were doing this in Iraq, dropping leaflets so the people, they pick it up in Arabic, and they're telling them, overthrow your government. You are strong. You don't need them. America's here to help you, right? You have your own power. You have your own mind, right? Should you really obey your leader? Your leader is corrupt. So the people are reading this, and if it didn't affect 1,000 people, it affected at least 1 to 10 people. I'm led to believe those thousands of leaflets that they dropped off, it had to affect at least 1 to 10 people. And it got in their minds, right? It got inside of their minds, right? So I'm going to read a little of this. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but we're going to read a little bit of these psyops that this society of Babylon the Great have always done, right? Maybe 1 or 2 of them, then we'll move on. You can read the rest on your own. Again, this is the website, right? It says Coffee or Die magazine, right? And this is on other sites as well. You can look this up. Psychological operations, or psyops, were first reportedly employed by American troops during the Revolutionary War, when the rebels distributed leaflets calling for enemy soldiers to desert the British military. According to the Library of Congress, the leaflets worked as intended, inspiring thousands of Hessian mercenaries and British servicemen to turn their backs on Europe and settle down permanently in America. And that's called sowing discord. That's what these devils do. They'll sow discord. You don't need to be with them. Turn your back on your country. Get down with our country. The Lord said in Proverbs, the 6th chapter, he hates a man that soweth discord among brethren, man. Right? This is Proverbs chapter 6 and 16. These 6 things that the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. Let's see what the Lord hates. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. And that's what this devil's into, man. How many people can we get to believe that the chariots of God don't exist? Right? How many people can we get to believe that these are mothership drones from Iran? He's devising wicked imaginations. The Lord hates that. Feet that be swift and running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. What is sowing discord? Right? It means you tell one brother something and hope that that brother hates the other brother. You're sowing confusion. You're putting brothers against one another. Right? Esau puts nations against another. He puts classes of people. Have we not heard of Willie Lynch? Right? And we're showing you how this devil gets down, man. Right? So let's read a little of this, and then we'll jump down. So I want to read let's see which one I wanted to get. So this is in 1946. Now a lot of this is done by the CIA. Right? Now check this out. It says vampires in the Philistines. Philippines. Right? He say the Philistines, man. Right? Vampires in the Philippines. Now check this out. The CIA weaponized Filipino folklore, such as the mythical beast pictured here, to terrorize insurgents in the Philippines. Right? So I'm going to jump down to this. It reads, let's see, I want to get straight to the point. I don't want to read this whole thing. The U.S. military, which was in the process of expanding its footprint in the Philippines, you see that, invading the land, searched for solutions to end the violence. So they wanted wars to stop so they could come in and take over. In September of 1950, Lieutenant Colonel Edward Lansdale, the head of the CIA's clandestine and paramilitary operations in the Philippines. What does clandestine mean? Why would you need a clandestine operation? Why wouldn't you just go to war and take the nation down? Well, we know that's not the MO of the so-called white man. Clandestine means secretive, right? It means secretive, covert, clandestine, kept secret or done secretively, especially because illicit, secret, covert, stealthy. These are all synonyms, right? Cloak and dagger, behind the scenes. See that? Behind the scenes, undercover, underground, black, concealed, hush, hush, hidden. Right? So this devil, he's letting you know he has clandestine operations, right? That are beyond the army, beyond the Navy, beyond the National Guard, right? You have to really know somebody and be selected to be part of Esau's clandestine operations, right? They run tests on you, what do they call it? The damn a polygraph. They call it a polygraph. They run polygraphs on you. They run experiments on you. You got to pass certain tests to even be part of the clandestine operations. You have to have the mind according to their mind. So what they were doing, let's go back to this. Hold on, that's another one. Right? They had clandestine and paramilitary operations in the Philippines. Arrived in the country to helm a counterinsurgency campaign that would heavily rely on the use of psychological operations. Lansdale's team observed that the Hukabalahap guerrillas and their peasant support base were deeply superstitious and inclined to believe in mythical creatures, including the Aswang, which is a vampire-like monster. So they studied their belief system, and they're going to use psychological operations to overthrow them, right? During one mission, CIA operatives told the residents of a certain village that an Aswang, that's that mythical creature that they believed in, which is madness, that an Aswang lived just beyond a nearby hill. The CIA allowed 2 days to pass, giving their local allies ample time to spread the rumors about the vampire's presence. So they have undercover men spreading rumors, man. That's what Esau has COINTELPRO. It's not just about you Negroes in America, right? You're not the only victims of counterintelligence programs and operations. He does this all over the place. He did this when Jerusalem fell, right? When you read about 65 BC, Pompey taking over Judea, that was rooted in psychological operations, man. As they pitted, as Antipater, I'm not going to go too deep into the history, but Antipater, Pompey, the Roman government, the civil war that was going on around the Jews, all of that was sorcery, man. So these devils always do that. You had Alexander, Jannaeus, and Aristobulus, and these men, and Antipater putting his hand all in the pot and going back to the Romans and setting himself up to be the king of the Jews. All of this that's what was going on. So we've been even victims of this. Going back to the time of the Hasmonean dynasty. They killed off all of the Maccabees and their lineage, set up Herod the Great. So they were spreading rumors about this matter, right? And it was to work on the minds of the people. Then the PSYOPs team ambushed a group of Hukabalahap rebels along a frequently traveled footpath. The team snatched the last man in the patrol. Check this out. Punctured his neck with 2 holes, drained the blood from his body, and placed the corpse back on the trail. So these devils are demonic, man. They went and they said we can't take them down. We could work on their minds. They spread rumors about the vampires that they believed in. Then they captured a man, put 2 holes on his neck to make it seem like this beast was real, drained his blood from the body, and hung it up. Just the stuff that the stuff that this devil thinks about is beyond me. Only the devil would think of something so wicked. To puncture 2 holes in his neck and then damn drain all his blood from his body just to steal land. When the rebels discovered the bloodless body, they fled the region, fearing the Assuang might come for them next. So these devils, man, they had plans, their plots. They didn't have to go to war and hand-to-hand combat. They used sorcery, manipulation, right? And wickedness and murder. The Lord said, the innocent and the righteous slay thou not, man. So they were slaying men, bearing false witness, and getting people killed out there. They were doing this in the Philippines. You don't think they'll do it to the American public, man? To the masses of the earth, to work on their minds? Right? That's what you call being bit by the adder, by the serpent. Right? Quick precept. Deuteronomy. Then I want to go back to the next one. Right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 32. And I'll read verse. Slakia. This is what I want. I want Deuteronomy. So this devil, man, he's on it, man. He has high level madness. This is what I want. Deuteronomy 32 and 32. For their vine is the vine of Sodom, and the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Right. So this speaks about, it's really speaking about wicked Israelites, but also is going into you other nations. You produce grapes from your vine that cause sodomy, philosophies of wickedness and lust. Vines produce grapes. The grapes that they do are of Sodom, right? So their philosophies and their witchcraft is rooted in homosexuality, murder, violence, bitterness, and pain. Puncturing a man with 2 holes in your neck and draining his blood is high level, huh? You know, it reads, their wine is the poison of dragons, the cruel venom of asp. So that's that wine, that poison that they infect into every nation under the sun. They do this. So don't be surprised why we call the so-called white man the devil. Well, why do you call him the devil? What did he really do? Well, we're showing you why this man is the devil. Right? And what he gets down with. Let's go to Revelation, the 13th chapter. Right? This is Salakia. Right? Bear with me. Let's go to Revelation 13 and 11. That's what I want. Right? Let's see where I'm at with time. Okay, this is Revelation chapter 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Who's this? America. This is the beast that John saw coming up out of the earth. The 2 horns he has are his religion and his politics. Now, part of his politics are his psychological operations, his sorcery, his witchcraft, using the media to beguile the people, to stir up tumults and have people questioning things and looking up stuff on social media and trying to figure out what's going on. He gets off on that. That's his strength. That's how he takes down every nation. That's how we were taken down. That's how he took down the so-called civil rights movement, the Black Panthers Party. Marcus Garvey poisoned them. Clandestine operations. Philippines, he took down the Philippines. You see how he took down Iraq with leaflets and madness and propaganda of weapons of mass destruction. That's his strength. The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. That's what the Most High said, never trust thine enemy. Stop trusting the so-called white man, the Edomites. Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so does his wickedness, man. He'll come off like a lamb, peaceable. And we're in the Philippines. We just want to kind of, see if you guys are healthy. We're here to get people in what's the word, man? Sticking them with stuff. Gotta kind of be mindful of what you say. All right, we're here to build up schools and give you guys jobs. But he's really out there draining people's blood, man. Right? So he speaks as a dragon, as a violent, wild creature. So let's read on. So this is a real event. This isn't fiction. You can look this up. That's a real event. Here's another psyop that this devil did. Right? It reads, well, let me finish the first one, then I'll jump to the second one. After Landale's success in the Philippines, still dealing with his the draining of the blood, weaponizing cultural superstitions was deemed an effective means of psychological warfare. Yeah, like showing, like letting you think that these chariot sightings are actual drones, right? He's weaponizing your belief in Yahweh Shah. So a lot of you brothers, you're going to get caught out there because, again, you're going to look at actual chariots, but you've been in this drone damn thing so long, you're going to discredit the works of Yahweh Bashmi Shah, an actual chariot, and say it's a drone. Because this devil has weaponized your faith and used it against you. And he's going to, because he knows about these chariots. He knows that they're going to increase and become more prevalent on the earth. That's how this devil gets down. He did the same thing, I believe, Issachar, back during the time as the Aztecs, they thought that Esau was Quetzalcoatl or some ancient god. And Esau said, I am that god. Give me all of your gold and your topaz and your rubies and give me your woman. And he enslaved and raped, robbed, and murdered them, huh? Right? So he'll use your religion against you. That's why he built what's that god they built? Serapis, man. Right? He weaponized the Egyptians this during the time when they were the Ptolemies in Egypt. They weaponized the Greeks' religion and superstitions as well as the Egyptians, and they made their own god to prevent civil war in Egypt. Right? So let me read this one more time. After Lansdale's success in the Philippines, weaponizing cultural superstitions was deemed an effective means of psychological warfare. In the Vietnam War, the United States Army used a similar tactic to prey upon a common belief of the Vietnamese that if a deceased person did not receive a proper burial, then their soul would be left wandering the land in unbearable pain and suffering. So they said, okay, it worked in the Philippines. See these damn Moabites out here, let's use it on them. Right? Let's see what they did. The 6th Psyop Battalion, and again, you got to be chosen to be part of the Psyop battalions and be part of the 6th one. The 6th Psyop Battalion launched Operation Wandering Soul. You don't think they have an operation for the Israelites? Operation Black Hebrew Israelites? Operation so-and-so? Operation Camp Confusion? Guys selling out, doctrines coming out of nowhere, people taking the bag. So these devils always have operations, man. Right? So he launched Operation Wandering Soul in the late 1960s. The operation involved broadcasting. Here's what this devil did. Broadcasting spooky audio tracks throughout the jungles at night in the hopes of scaring and demoralizing the Viet Cong. One such audio track is the infamous Ghost Tape number 10, which was typically broadcast from loudspeakers affixed to Army helicopters or Navy swift boats. The tape played eerie sounds of gongs banging, whimpering soldiers, crying women, and other horrifying sounds. And really, they get this from the Most High. See, the Most High did this to the Egyptians. When you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 17th chapter, right? There were strange noises and the waterfalls and strange faces and feet running, and people it worked against their minds because the Lord is the original king of terrors. And all them Egyptians, they all dropped dead. So they know about the Most High. Let me get that in Wisdom of Solomon real quick. Right? They know about Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. This is Wisdom of Solomon. I'm going to get straight to the point because I want to finish this article. Right? Because there's a few more I want to get. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17. And verse number, this whole thing is good. Verse, oh boy, let's start at let's start at 9. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by and hissing of serpents. So the Most High was working on the minds of the Egyptians. He destroyed them externally and internally, right? And at the plague of darkness, Wisdom of Solomon, the 17th chapter, breaks it down what was actually going on when the Egyptians were under that gross darkness. And he's letting you know that the Most High was working on their minds and giving them strange apparitions. An apparition is an appearance, right? And a really of spiritual things. So they heard the sound of serpents. They heard beasts passing by, but the beasts weren't actually there. This is similar to what we're reading about the 6th Operation Wandering Soul. They were playing sounds of women crying, drums blasting, and horrifying sounds to get into their minds. Let's read on. They died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. For wickedness, condemned by her own witness, is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience, always forecasteth grievous things. So your mind is always going to make you see the worst in a situation, right? Your mind is always going to play tricks on you. That's what the Most High is saying, right? And that was going on during the time of the Egyptians, all right? So let's go back to this article, all right? So it reads, the tape played eerie sounds of gongs banging, whimpering soldiers, crying women, and other horrifying sounds. South Vietnamese soldiers and sympathizers were even recruited to provide a sense of realism to the voices. Ghost tape number 10 was reportedly played between 1969 and 1970 with varied results. And you got to imagine that. Imagine marching in the jungle. Your land is invaded by the so-called white man. You see a bunch of so-called Vietnamese dead. It's raining out there. You're never going to see your family again. You're thinking about your wife and your children, and all of a sudden you hear babies crying, women screaming, eerie, spooky sounds. You're like, man, I don't know. You start shaking, and what was that? And you're shooting, you aim and shooting. You shot your damn comrade, and hey, you damn near blow your own brains out, man. Now, what they did, the nations actually took of that. There's a thing called, for brothers that haven't heard it, called a woman called Hanoi Hannah. Now, this woman, obviously not gonna read this whole thing, but this woman was used in a psychological war against the American army during the time of Vietnam. And she would also be used to speak words to demoralize and to discourage the American soldiers. She was hired by design. You know, so a lot of them, that's why a lot of them people have PTSD, man. A lot of them American soldiers that went to war, they have what they call post. I'm gonna actually play a little of that audio. They have post-traumatic stress disorder, man, right? Because of what they saw and heard out there in those days. And she was actually used to discourage the minds of the people. So let's play this. Right? Here's what they were hearing out there.
Чего ты там пиздишь, чего?
GI, your government has abandoned you. They have ordered you to die. GI, do not trust them. Defect, GI. It is a very good idea to leave a sinking ship. They lie to you, GI. You know you cannot win this war.
See that? So imagine a lot of men died in Vietnam, huh? Comrade got blown up, legs blown up, arm blown up. That was a hellish war, man. They didn't win that war. They lost that war. And a lot of people, there wasn't a war like the Vietnam War where many people came back and their minds was all bugged out. In the damn rain and jungle, you hear you can't win this war. You're looking at your soldier, his legs blown off. You might start believing it, man. So she was hired to actually do this.
Your rich leaders grow richer while you're dying in the swamp, GI.
You say you're dying in a swamp, GI. You're dying in a swamp. And these guys was actually dying in a swamp, and they was hearing that.
They will give you a medal, GI, but only after you are dead.
Imagine hearing that every third hour. So they didn't play this all day, every day. This was heard maybe, 3 a.m., midnight, sunrise, at noon. They played this different times throughout the day, man. That's when they played this.
Your government lies to you every day, poor soldier. You have lost this war, GI.
And a lot of people died, man, hearing this, man. So she was used as a psychological warrior against the American government, right? So there's a lot of sorcery that these nations use. There's a lot of witchcraft, right? There's a lot of madness that's going on in the earth, right? Strange signs and wonders, right? And we talked about this, about what they did in the Philippines. Esau, his so-called Project Bluebeam. For those that don't know what Project Bluebeam is, it is a plan. Right now, they say it's a conspiracy, but allegedly, it is the government's plan to fake the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai by using chariots, holograms, and other technology that all people could believe that the Lord has returned. So now you have people digging this thing back up. I remember Project Bluebeam from years ago, man. Years and years and years ago. But now people are kind of saying, hold on now. And they started kind of digging this so-called theory back up. Now this is from five hours ago. Right? And again, what is this called? The wine and the witchcraft of the beast. Right? Quick precept. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 51. Right? Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse number, let's read 7. It reads, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Meaning the nations are bugged out, man. Even Israel, we're part of those nations that have drunken of her wine, that have been seduced. We've been victims of these wars, psyops, false flags, manipulation, witchcraft, right? The nations have drunken of her wine, man. Now you got us sobering up in the last days, but a lot of you nations, man, you're being overthrown by the so-called white man. And I went into this before. When you read additions to Esther, you read about Esau trying to overthrow the government of the Medes and the Persians. So Esau infiltrating governments and using these tactics has always been known. Now, I brought this out, I believe, last week, but I'll bring it out again because I want to get straight to the point as well. This is addition to Esther, chapter 16 and verse number 12. So when you read Esther, you read about Haman or Haman. Haman was second in command under the Persian Empire at a time. Now, when you read Esther in the Old Testament, 10 chapters, you read about Haman's hatred towards the Jews and how he beguiled the king to cast lots day by day to have a set time in which the Jews would be destroyed within a kingdom of the Persians, 127 provinces. He didn't tell the king that he wanted to destroy the Jews, right? But this was done through manipulation. Now, when you read editions of Esther, you read about his true intentions of why he was even in the Persian kingdom and in their royal court, right? It wasn't just to destroy the Jews, it was to overthrow the government of the Persian Empire, right? And we're going to read that. Addition to Esther chapter 16 and 12. And he's done, and we've been victims of this, like I said before. I'm pretty sure there are I know there are agents in Israel now. And you may have whole agent camps. You may have brothers with fringes on that say Kwam Yashal, Shalom. They know the name of the Most High. And they may know his son. They may know, one breakdown, maybe two, They're gathering information on you. They might have, went to your house, they studied the feast day, and they report, man. Right? So let's read this. Addition to Esther 16 and 12. But he, not bearing his great dignity, went about to deprive us of our kingdom and life. And that was Haman's intent, to deprive the Persians of their kingdom and life, having by manifold and cunning deceits sought of us the destruction as well of Mordecai, or Mardochus, which is the Greek way of saying Mordecai, who saved our life and continually procured our good, as also of blameless Esther, partaker of our kingdom with their whole nation. Here's the point. For by these means he thought, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians. So he said, if I can destroy all of the Jews, I can take over the Persian Empire, and I can give it back to the hand of the so-called white man. That was his whole plan. They don't tell you that in regular Esther, but in the Apocrypha it kind of breaks it down what Haman's true intent was. His operations, his mind, right? To go there and overthrow the government of the Persian Empire and give it to the Medes. Give it to the Greeks, because remember the Macedonians were coming up into power at that time. Xerxes, Darius the First, they had wars with the Athenians, the Spartans, and those Greek city-states during that time, right? So let's go back to this. So you see that in the Bible, how Esau tries to overthrow entire governments. So people are looking at Project Bluebeam, right? For brothers that don't know, what is the Project Bluebeam drone conspiracy theory? Drone sightings have been consistent across New Jersey. It has spread beyond the Northeast to Ohio and San Diego. State and local officials are calling for greater transparency, right? It says, just to keep this succinct, it reads, Canadian journalist Serge Monist is credited with coming up with the theory Project Bluebeam, wherein there is a plot to endanger a dictatorial universal government that abolishes Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, in favor of a new world order. And this devil does have a new world order. You say, I don't believe that. Well, it's on your dollar. Novus Seclorum Order, New World Order, right? In which, again, when you read Addition to Esther, the 13th chapter, the New World Order, the order can't be established unless the Jews are present, right? It says so that the uniting of our kingdoms cannot go forward, right? So that's what Project Bluebeam is. Now, a lot of this technology these devils have, if you don't have any understanding, you can get caught out there. Now, this is a simple drone show, right? This is a simple drone show that the Moabites did. Now, check this out. Now, who's to say maybe Jacob's trouble during the time of the famine? You see a damn fleet of ships come, but you're like, well, I don't know what this is. You get caught out there. So let me play this. Now, these are Esau's actual drones, right? I want to see if I can play this. All right. Let's see. Now the Lord said, let me get a quick precept in Matthew, the 24th chapter. Here's what the Lord said in Matthew, right? Chapter 24, right? This is Matthew, chapter 24, and I'll read verse number 24. It reads, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So if you get caught out here on the damn drone show, you get caught out here with the technology of the so-called white man, and you start believing that, and you're not the elect. This devil is going to show great signs. He's the ultimate false Christ. Did not it say he had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon? Does not he do miracles on the earth the same way the Lord does miracles on the earth when you read Revelation, the 13th chapter? It's not he the false prophet whose job is to get you to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed? He is showing great signs and wonders. He's putting stuff out there. He's working on the minds. He's not letting you know what the chariots are. And again, like I said, I believe, I could be wrong, I believe that this devil knows what the chariots are, but he's making it seem like a lot of these things are drones, and some of them could be drones. But he's making it seem like every damn thing is a drone to weaponize your belief in Yahweh Shai and his heavenly father, Yahweh, that you are discouraged. Every time you see a chariot, you chalk it up to being a drone, and it takes away your faith. And it takes away from you remembering and looking at the works of the Most High. Right? That's my, I could be wrong. That's me speaking as a man. That's my opinion on it. That this devil is doing that for that purpose, because the whole target is to target the children of Israel. So now, as you see, as the Most High, because he knows the prophecy that there's going to be chariot sightings on the earth, great signs that the Heavenly Father is going to show in the firmament. So he's trying to say, well, all of these things are drones. So if you are weak in the faith, you're going to say, oh, well, the Most High isn't showing us anything. There isn't anything to look for. And also, this devil knows what the chariots are. He's putting that out there. And he also has, some of these things are actual drones he may have out there. You know? Now, you got some people saying that they're looking for nuclear warheads and things of that nature. But I spoke on what I think it is. And these are great signs and wonders that these devils are putting out there. Because what is their purpose? To deceive the elect. Not to deceive your average Joe who's a plumber. Right? That's not the target in this war. We read in Psalm 64 that they may shoot arrows at the who? At the perfect. Right? In Psalm 64. It says, suddenly do they shoot at him. So they're targeting the elect. Now, if you're the elect, you're not going to get caught up in this madness. You're not going to lose sleep overnight. You're not going to be tossing and turning. Is that a chariot? Is that a drone? God, what do I do? And am I even an Israelite? I thought the brother said those are chariots. Esau said they're drones. Maybe I'm not in this truth. Maybe this isn't real. Maybe I'm not a man of the Lord. So if you get caught up in this psychological operation, then you're not the elect. We're showing you the history of how this devil gets down. We're showing you his MO. Right? We're showing you how he moves as the serpent, and he does not change. I tell you that in Psalms 55, that there are no changes in him. Right? This Psalms chapter 55 and verse 19. I'm going to start at 18. He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there are many with me. And again, you have physical battles, but you also have counsels against you, psychological battles and warfare. Saul was plotting against David, right? How to kill him, overthrow his men, find him in the wilderness, slay him. You know, he had to go through those things. And we have battles that we're going through. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. We know that precept very well in Ephesians, the 6th chapter, 12 on down. Right? We wrestle against principalities, right? Spiritual wickedness in high places. right? It reads, the Most High shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Selah, because they have no changes. Therefore, they fear not God. They don't have any changes. So what we read they did in the Philippines in the 1940s, what we read how they did that in the 1960s, we know what they did to the Black Panthers Party. We know what they did in the Civil Rights Movement. We know what they do in Israel. We know these devils. They have no changes. So we're not beguiled and all bugged out of our damn mind. You know, the Lord said, be sober minded, have self control, trust in the Most High, and don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. But these devils, again, they have certain things, right? They have these drone shows and witchcraft and sorcery, and they may very well, act like they got chariots coming. Speaker systems come up hither, come up, come over here. Here the prophecy says, come up hither. The damn Esau's device says, come over here. And if you get caught out there, that's on you. When he said, come over here, looks like these things in the night, and they have this voice that says, come over here, we need to talk to you. You better remember these precepts, because the Lord said, what else did the Lord say? Right? In Matthew 24 and 25. Let's read the next verse. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chamber, believe it not. So these devils are going to be plotting and planning, man. Don't believe it. Believe the scriptures. The Lord tells you how he's going to return. He's not going to say, come over here, I want to talk to you, with damn 5 drones flying in the sky. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So Yahushua's return is going to be bright, well known, and everybody's going to see it. That's what he's saying. So I want to play a little of this. That's what these devils got. This is their technology. This is their technology. So they have their own technology. They have their own, look at this. Right? Their own so-called drone show. And these devils been had this, man. So they made me click all this. Right? They have their own drone show. Signs and wonders. They got damn floating cities. Right? These devils, and these are Moabites, man, who fancies themselves as a modern day whore, Babylon the Great, like I tell you in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. They got damn cities. I don't even know how you do that. I don't even know how that works. What type of synchronization, type of technology to even make that happen? So there's high level signs and sorcery amongst these nations. See that? So the Moabites be doing this stuff, man. The Moabites be putting this stuff in the sky. Esau has his stuff going on. They made a 200-foot tiger in the air. Look at that. Imagine being on the ground, Jacob's trouble, all hell breaking loose, and you start seeing these things in the air. And if you didn't have any understanding, you'll start following it, right? You'll start following it, and you'll start getting caught out there, right? What is that? Who's doing this? What power do they have? And that's why they talk about a Project Bluebeam. They talk about the holograms. These devils have holograms. They have real life holograms. They have technology. And this is what they allow you to see, right? They give you old technology. The stuff that you look at that you can buy off of Amazon, the drone that you have, this stuff, this is old news. These devils, they always have men working on the latest and greatest, right? The next innovation, right? What more can they do to further intoxicate the public? So this stuff that you're in awe of, this is old news to these devils. This is old news, old technology, archaic. See that? Look at that. And that doesn't even look like that just looks like damn lights falling. See that? But those were the actual so-called drones, man. Right? Those are the actual so-called drones. So you got these devils, they came out and they said, we don't know. These things aren't from the earth. This is part of their, like we were going into, their so-called psychological operation. I'm going to play this. Maybe this is the last one I'll play. Maybe I'll play one more, right? So let me play this real quick. This is, let's play this through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Yahushua. This one. I mean, there's a lot going on, man. There's a lot I want to get into. Bear with me. That's not it. Let's see. Here it is. Here's what I want. This is fair use. This is fair use. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
These are not U.S. military drones.
So she came out and said these are not U.S. military drones, right? I remember she has a script. She was debriefed on what to say. This is not. She has no autonomy in this speech, man. She has to comply. She has to comply. Now, if she goes off script, something might happen to her son, her daughter. Something might happen to her life. Her money might be, taken advantage of. And so she cannot go off script. She must be complicit. Right? So let's play this again.
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement.
Why does local law enforcement have to investigate this?
But our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
So you heard the woman. The woman said that these are not from a foreign entity. So what she's saying is these things aren't from this our society, meaning Babylon the Great, and they're not from Iran. They're from outer space. And a lot of these devils, they want to put out this. They're not going to say that these are the chariots of Israel. They're going to say these are aliens, to spook up this alien propaganda and have people get all bugged out about alien invasions and all types of government shutdowns to restrict people. This whole devil moves the same way he's always moved.
New Jersey are? Is that correct? You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
From the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water.
These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from.
See, this is the goal of a psyop, man, to get people all bugged out, questioning the government, trying to figure out what's going on, and they study people's reaction. That's part of the definition. They study people's reactions.
They don't know nothing.
They know that they can't track them. They know that they don't emit a signal. They know that they can't see them when they turn their lights out. They also indicated that they don't know where they come from. They don't know where they go to.
So you could watch the rest of that on your own, right? You could watch the rest of that on your own. So, you know, there's a lot going on in the earth, man. All praise to Yahweh Shemi Shai. These are signs and wonders from the beast, right? We're going to wind down. I'm going to go to the book of Revelation, the 22nd chapter. So don't get beguiled by this, man. Don't get beguiled. Actually, I'm going to read Matthew 24 again, right? Don't get beguiled. Matthew 24 and 24. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. And again, this devil, he's known for witchcraft. He's known for sorcery. He's known for manipulation, psychological operations, working on the minds of the people, agenda. The Illuministic rich elite families, they play chess on the masses of the sheeple who conform to what the media tells them to do. We as servants of the Most High, we're not scared of these of this, man. We're not losing sleep at night, right? We're not sitting up there trying to figure out what do we do? Is it time to leave? You know, is that actual, what, you know, it's the Most High letting us see something, and we're going to keep these commandments. We're going to keep our faith in Yahweh Shemi Shai. We're going to stay obedient to the law, statutes, and the commandments. We know very well what the chariots look like, how they operate, how they maneuver. We know very well what a helicopter is, what a plane is, what a drone looks like. We are not beguiled and persuaded and enticed by the seduction of the beast and his system, huh? Right? So you brothers that are fret, that are nervous, you're having panic attacks, you're having anxiety attacks, stop and ask for faith in Yahweh Shemi Shai, man, because you're going to see more things, man, beyond this, man. You're going to hear more things beyond this. You're going to smell rotten things and dead bodies and carcasses beyond what the media is showing you today, man. And all you're going to have is your faith in Yahweh Shemi Shai to keep you pushing and to keep you moving, man. So with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh Shema Mashiach Wamalak Yabushai. Most High when we was edified. Another Monday Night Fire. Kwam Yashab. Shalom.